Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Gary Franchi here reporting from the White House briefing room with breaking news. Yes, it was a bad day for the notorious Trump derangement syndrome victim Eric Swalwell today. FBI Director Kash Patel is about to drop the Fang Fang files, and Swalwell, of course, panicking. The man who spent years screaming about Russia collusion now doesn't want you to see what's in his classified files. The hypocrisy is staggering, and it only gets worse. Now, here's why this matters to you. Eric Swalwell sat on the House Intelligence Committee. He had access to America's most sensitive secrets, and the whole time he was allegedly sleeping with a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. Not a joke, that's her actual name. Now, this is not some political smear. The FBI warned him about her back in 2015, and now he's running for governor of California. The man who couldn't keep a Chinese honeypot out of his bedroom wants to run the fifth largest economy in the world. But that's not all. There are now allegations of predatory behavior towards interns, NDAs to silence women, and a pattern that goes back years. Kash Patel about to expose it all. In Swalwell's response, he's calling it the worst abuse since J. Edgar Hoover. Let that sink in. Now, folks, speaking of being prepared for what's coming, a sitting congressman allegedly compromised by a Chinese spy, and he's running for governor. When the people in charge of guarding our national secrets can't even guard their own, you realize just how fragile the system really is, and that's why I trust my Patriot Supply. They're America's #1 preparedness company with over 3 million customers who refuse to be caught off guard. Right now at preparewithgary.com, their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply comes with a free additional week. That's 5 weeks of security for your family. When you can't trust the people with top secret clearances, at least trust that your family is covered. Go to preparewithgary.com. Don't wait for the next crisis to wish that you had been ready. Now, let's get back to Swalwell's meltdown, because you need to see this for yourself. We've got it all. Kash Patel announcing he's releasing the Fang Fang files, and Eric Swalwell runs straight to MSNBC to spin it. But what he said on camera, it's unhinged. He's claiming the Trump administration is conspiring with China to interfere in the California governor's race. You can't make this up. I'm going to show you exactly what's happening. This first clip catches Swalwell's interview where he tries to flip the script on Kash Patel. Remember, this is the guy who demanded transparency for years. Now watch what happens when transparency is coming for him. His excuse is absolutely wild. Watch.
So we expect more will come, other nonsense from the administration, but we don't trust them one bit. And it's also absurd, just absolutely absurd. As somebody who was on the Intelligence Committee, oversaw the CIA for 8 years, that they're so out to interfere in the California gubernatorial race where we're leading, that they would work with the Chinese. I mean, it's just absurd and probably the worst abuse that we've seen since the J. Edgar Hoover days.
I mean, which is obviously a significant statement, as you say, given your background of what you oversaw, you know, in multiple roles that you've had in Congress. But it sounds like this is very clear to you how you see this, right? That this is about the California gubernatorial primary. Obviously, you're a leading contender there. Fox News host is also a leading contender. I mean, how much do you think this is about that election?
I see it as entirely about that. We have a governor right now, Governor Newsom, who's been a fighter, protector. He does what I call show, not tell leadership. When Texas took 5 seats in their redistricting process, we went to the voters within 90 days, and he's taken the president to court. And as we have so many immigrants being deported in California, Californians are looking for who's going to continue that fighter, protector spirit against this president. And the president knows, and his FBI director know, that that's what I've done. Being a part of the Russia investigation, being a part of the impeachment. I have the only lawsuit that survived the January 6th, the only lawsuit that survived this new presidency. It's me and the January 6th officers. And so the president and his FBI director, it appears to us, are certainly threatened by the prospect of me being governor. The good news, though, is Donald Trump doesn't get to decide who the next governor is. Californians do.
Did you catch that? He said it's, quote, the worst abuse since the J. Edgar Hoover days. Yes, this guy who got caught with a Chinese spy is comparing the FBI director to J. Edgar Hoover for releasing files about his compromised relationship. And then he says Trump is working with the Chinese against him. I mean, the projection is off the charts. But folks, the Fang Fang story might just be the tip of the iceberg. Wait to hear what women are now saying about Swalwell. The next clip is explosive. multiple women are now coming forward claiming that Swalwell has been sleeping with interns and staffers, forcing them to sign NDAs to keep quiet. This isn't rumor. People are showing the receipts. Now listen to what's being alleged.
The Democratic candidate currently leading in the California governor's race has a known history of being predatory towards women. And while it may be seen as politically expedient to sweep this under the rug, it is the wrong thing to do, and we know it. I worked on the Hill. I know many women who still do, and this message that I received yesterday is not unique. I have received others, and there are many women who have reached out to other political commentators and to reporters with their stories. This particular message follows the same pattern as the other allegations currently circulating. You know Eric Swalwell has slept with many of his interns and makes them all sign NDAs so they don't speak up, right? And when I was 19, he tried hitting on me and sliding into my DMs, and I have so many other friends that have similar experiences with him. Like I said, this message that I received is not an anomaly. It's part of a pattern. Other commentators have come forward, like this one, saying that no less than a dozen people have come forward to them alleging that Swalwell has had inappropriate relationships with young staffers for years. Lastly, I would not be surprised if we soon see many other folks come forward. Conversations that I have had suggest that creators who have heard these stories and women who have experienced it are currently sitting on the sidelines because they're afraid of retaliation, of not being able to work in this space anymore if they speak up. But I think as more people come forward, we will hear other voices coming in and echoing these allegations. So we need to deal with this and address this now.
She said no less than a dozen people have come forward with allegations. Inappropriate relationship with young staffers for years, NDAs to silence them. One woman says when she was just 19, he was sliding into her DMs, and he says her friends have similar experiences. It's a pattern, and people are afraid to speak up because of retaliation. And remember, this is the same man who spent years calling President Trump a Russian agent. So let's take a little walk down memory lane, shall we? This next clip is a devastating supercut. For years, Eric Swalwell went on every cable news network claiming without evidence that Donald Trump was a literal Russian agent. Watch how confident he was, and remember, he actually never provided any proof.
Where's the actual evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Putin?
It's right in front of your nose, Tucker. When we look back on this in 25 years, we're going to be amazed at how much of it was right in front of us.
You're a member of the judiciary. Do you believe the president right now has been an agent of the Russians?
Yes, I think there's more evidence than he is. Yes, and I think all the arrows point in that direction, and I haven't seen a single piece of evidence that he's not.
An agent like in the 1940s where we had people who were Reds, to use an old term, like that. In other words, working for a foreign power.
He's working on behalf of the Russians, yeah.
Okay.
The question has shifted from whether the president is working with the Russians to what evidence exists that the president is not working with the Russians.
At what point do you draw the line and not accuse the president of the United States without any evidence of being an agent of Russia?
Yeah, he's betrayed our country, and I don't say that lightly. I worked as a prosecutor for 7 years, and
Betraying the country, by the way, we want evidence before you say that, but you said an agent of Russia.
Yeah, he works on their behalf.
I'm not hearing the evidence that he's an agent of Russia.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. It's almost hiding in plain sight.
He said, quote, "I haven't seen a single piece of evidence that he's not a Russian agent." He's calling the sitting president a traitor on national television. Said he betrayed our country. Zero evidence, just accusations. And now when the FBI has actual evidence about his foreign entanglement, suddenly transparency is an abuse of power. But here's the thing. Fang Fang didn't just target Swalwell, she targeted others too. Only one person was dumb enough to fall for it. This final clip features the legendary Victor Davis Hanson. He reveals that Fang Fang actually came to see him too. But unlike Swalwell, Hanson saw right through her. His description of that meeting and his assessment of Swalwell, it's absolutely brutal. Watch.
Eric Swalwell, well, as I said, I wrote some critical things of China, and Fang Fang came to see me as a consular official out of the Bay Area. And I think she told me she was a political operative that monitored American politics. But when she walked in my office at the Hoover Institution, I kept the door open. I had one of my research people with me the whole time. And the way she changed accents and how she was dressed, you would have to be a stupid, narcissistic idiot to fall for that. I'm serious. In my case, it was, maybe he would say it's easier because I'm an old man, but my point was, it was about 10 or 12 years ago, and he fell for that. And he got involved with her when he was on the House Intelligence Committee. So end of story with that guy. Anybody who would fall for her, honeypot, it was just a joke. Anybody could see that.
And so that explains his stupid
Anything he says, he's a Beto O'Rourke of the House.
Victor Davis Hanson said, quote, "You would have to be a stupid, narcissistic idiot to fall for that." He kept his door open. He had a colleague present. Meanwhile, Swalwell on the House Intelligence Committee fell for the honeypot. BDH called him the Beto O'Rourke of the House. That's the man running for California governor. So let's put all this together because the full picture is damning. This is the bottom line. Eric Swalwell spent years accusing President Trump of being a foreign agent with zero evidence. He went on TV hundreds of times calling for transparency and investigations. Now Kash Patel is about to release files showing Swalwell's own relationship with a Chinese spy while he sat on the Intelligence Committee. His response? It's a conspiracy against his governor's race. On top of that, multiple women are alleging he's been preying on young staffers for years and silencing them with NDAs. Even Victor Davis Hanson, who Fang Fang also approached, says only narcissistic idiots would have fallen for her trap. This man wants to be governor of California while the chickens are coming home to roost. So folks, this is accountability in action. For too long, politicians like Swalwell have operated with one set of rules for themselves and another for everyone else. They screamed about Russia while ignoring China. They demanded transparency while hiding their own secrets. But under the Trump administration, the truth is finally coming out. Kash Patel is not playing games. Those Fang Fang files are coming, and Swalwell's panic tells you everything you need to know about what's in them. So share this video with every Californian you know. They deserve to know who's trying to be their next governor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our coverage. I'm Gary Franchi. As always, stay informed, stay free. From the White House, I'll see you at the next report.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.